Most people think petrol prices rise because oil becomes expensive, and that sounds logical, but it's only part of the truth. Because every time you stop at a fuel station, you're not just buying petrol, you're buying geopolitics, taxes, currency markets, and decisions made thousands of kilometers away by people you will never meet. And strangely, crude oil itself is only one piece of the bill. Imagine pulling into a petrol pump early morning and seeing the price change again overnight with no warning, no explanation, just a higher number. And you wonder whether the world suddenly ran out of oil. But petrol prices matter because they quietly control almost everything else: food prices, delivery costs, flight tickets, inflation, even job opportunities. Since when fuel becomes expensive, the cost of moving goods rises and eventually everything you buy follows, making petrol not just fuel but the heartbeat of an economy. And that heartbeat begins underground, where crude oil is extracted in countries like Saudi Arabia, the United States, and Russia, many coordinating supply through groups that control how much oil enters the market, meaning prices are shaped less by how much oil exists and more by how much is released. So even small production cuts can push prices higher because markets react to expectations faster than reality, and sometimes fear alone raises prices before supply actually changes. Then comes another invisible force. Oil is traded globally in US dollars, so even if oil prices stay the same, petrol becomes costlier if the local currency weakens against the dollar, meaning nothing physically changes, yet consumers still pay more. After which, crude oil must be refined into usable fuel, adding operational and transportation costs. But here comes the surprising part. Taxes often make up a large share of the final petrol price through excise duties, state taxes, and dealer commissions, turning fuel into one of the easiest and most reliable sources of government revenue because everyone depends on it. Which explains why prices rise quickly but fall slowly, since taxes do not automatically shrink when crude oil becomes cheaper. Modern daily price revisions now connect global commodity markets directly to your daily commute, allowing international volatility to reach consumers almost instantly, creating the strange reality where local drivers are indirectly influenced by global traders and distant political tensions, while governments themselves face a paradox because they want lower fuel consumption for environmental goals, yet still rely heavily on fuel taxes to fund spending, forcing them to balance economic stability with public sentiment. And meanwhile, expectations amplify everything, as transport companies and businesses increase prices early when they anticipate fuel hikes, causing inflation to begin even before actual costs fully arrive. Meaning petrol prices don't just reflect the economy, but actively shape behavior within it. And when you finally look at the glowing price board at a petrol station, you're really seeing a chain reaction. Oil supply decisions, currency movements, refining costs, taxation policies, and market psychology compressed into a single number. Which leads to one uncomfortable thought. As electric vehicles slowly replace petrol and the world moves away from oil, governments may lose one of their most dependable revenue sources. And if petrol stops funding the system, something else will inevitably take its place, because economies always need fuel, leaving us with a final question. When petrol disappears, what exactly will we end up paying for instead?